too funny. All right, so today we have our core foundation. So we're always talking about breathing. So throughout this whole program in this half hour, I really want you to focus on keeping that core long. So when we talked about the core before, just to give you an overview for just a reminder, and for Nidra who wasn't here last week, we have this section in our midsection here, and you can feel with your fingertips the very top of your hip bones and kind of wiggle in there and try to find the very bottom of your rib cage. So this is what we're trying to elongate this as we work through each of those movements, because this space is always crunched down. And so when we can elongate that, that's allowing more room for movement, and it's also allowing more room for foundation in our core. So when we're moving from, like, just for example, when we do our lean over here and we're holding this and moving up and down like that, that in itself is working our back muscles, but because we're creating that space, we're allowing our obliques and our transverse abdominal muscles, which go down into our pelvis, to engage. So with that said, we're going to start with that founder's move that we went over last week. So that means we're going to have our legs shoulder width apart, okay? And all I want you to do at first is just like your yoga class, you're going to reach down your legs, back is straight, and you're just allowing that back to get to a point where it's straight and you feel a little bit of tension in your legs. So I'm going to go back down just a little bit longer, and now I feel my back really tensing right now. So once you get there, I just want you to start to pulse a little bit, keeping that spine nice and aligned, up and down, kind of reaching a little bit farther each time. And now we're going to add that breath. So every time you lift, breathe in and out. Good. Reaching down, and now hold down, and then we're going to reach our arms up next to our head. Okay, and you'll start to feel this burn in your back a little bit. And we're just, as you're here, take note of a couple things. So I feel a lot of weight that I'm holding in my heels. Okay, and I feel once I rose my hand above my head or near my ears, I instantly felt this back muscle engage. And that's what we want. So when you're here, hold, and now go ahead and bend your knees and feel that release in the back, in your lower back, and then raise that hip bone up again. Okay, your butt should be sticking out, bend, and raise. And now let's exhale, round our back all the way down and release that back. Woo, feel a release. Just let your back kind of hang and rest here for a second. And then we're gonna just bring one leg in front. So while you're down here, one leg is gonna be in front of the other, and you can kind of position yourself, making sure both toes are pointing forward. And then you're gonna adjust yourself. So now I'm trying, and I can put my hand on my knee, okay? And my chest is coming up. Okay, so now that we're in this position where you're just down, stretching with this hamstring coming up, and now I'm allowing my back to come up with the support of my knee here. Making sure the knee is not over the toe. And then now we raise and try that same thing. Keeping that back nice and straight. Feel the burn. And breathe. 4, 3, 2, 1. Bring the arms down and let's go ahead and step forward. Ooh, okay. So now remember which leg you had front. So now you're going to bring the leg that was originally in front to the back. We're going to reach down our hands down to the ground, and then you're going to support your hands right there to get your back into the proper position. So now my chest is up, I'm looking up. Good, I feel that tension in my back. Hold here and get your breath. Breathe in through your nose. This can be very, very challenging. And breathe out. Breathe in. And breathe out. Okay, let's reach those hands up. Woo-hoo-hoo, feel the burn. Hold for 3, 2, 1, and go ahead and step forward out of that pose. Shake that out. All right, so just to get that foundation, once more, I want us to really elongate the spine, and we're gonna start from that position. So go ahead and find that space. So put your finger there and then just place your hands on it so you're not, crunching your wrists at all. You're just holding that space. Just to remind you that you have to keep that space as we move forward. So you're gonna hip hinge, forward, good, and come on back up. So we're just gonna go into this motion a couple more times. So when you go down, breathe in, feel that expansion, and breathe out as you look back up. Good, keeping that space, always checking. Breathe in, good, and exhale as you come back up. And now raising your arms above your head. Now we're really gonna create space in there. And I want you to exhale and kind of bring this space smaller on one side. So I'm intertwining my fingers on the top. I'm gonna exhale, go to the side, and inhale, back up nice and straight. Exhale down to that oblique. We're getting this transverse abdominis, so you can feel this kind of getting smaller and smaller. And then come back up and breathe in. Breathe out all the way down. Allowing your arms to create a small space, no more gaps in there. Reach nice and high and exhale down onto the other side. And then back up. Okay, let's do this one more time. Reaching high, exhaling down. It takes a lot of control and focus with that breath. Breathe in and breathe out. Back over to that side. Good work. And come on, back up, nice and tall. Let those arms come back up. All right, now with the chair, we're gonna be going down to the floor now. So I'm gonna switch my screen over. You want to make sure your chair is in some kind of still position. So if it's a pretty heavy chair anyways, you may not need to have it leaning against anything, but if it's kind of flimsy, you might have to have it lean against a couch or something that's nearby. And what you're going to do now is, and I can show you first, we're going to work on a bridge. And most people know what a bridge is. It's, when you're on your back and you're lifting your butt up, okay? But this is going to be a little different because we're going to dissect this bridge like you would not believe. Because there's so many things to think about. Even just placing your feet up is going to change the whole frame of how your body works. So when you are lifting your legs up, one of the things you want to think about when you drive your heels into the seat is, first off, check your leg muscles. Okay, so you want to check to make sure none of these muscles are tight. So it should be jiggly like mine is, and you want to check the insides of your legs. Is there any tightness there? If there is, kind of maybe stretch your legs out and just try to relax. You can do this with your breath. So we're going to start off with the breathing. So if you're nice and loose in here, if you're nice and loose in the hamstrings, then you're ready to go. Now check your tummy. Is your tummy loose? Okay, so that's where we need to take this action. The other thing is we need to check our hips, because in order to engage our stomach, our hips actually have to be in really good alignment. So if you're caving your back and there's a gap behind you, then you need to breathe out and bring those hip bones down. And once you're here, let's take a big inhale through our nose. Keep your hands on your tummy so you can feel it. That exhale is going to bring this up a little bit so you'll feel that expansion in your stomach. And then exhale, pressing your back into the floor. Good. Take an inhale. Again, and press your back right into the chair or into the floor. Good. Now, hold that position. Your back should be nice and flat. This core, I can feel it. It is tight, tight, tight. I'm holding it in. I'm almost like, I feel like my veins popping out of my neck because I'm holding it so much. So now what I want you to do is we're going to keep that core nice and tall and bring your hands next to the sides of you, wherever you're comfortable. And you're going to drive through your heels to lift your butt up just a little bit, okay? And in order for us to really engage this pelvis here, we kind of have to tuck our tailbone and squeeze our glutes. So when that happens, now if you tap your bottom half of your legs, those hamstrings should be nice and tight. These legs should be tight, okay? So then lower back down, feeling the vertebrae down to the sacrum, and then press with an exhale. Okay, hold that foundation in your core, nice and still. Press your heels through the chair and lift your tailbone back up. Squeeze your glute, feel that, and exhale, back down. Okay, now let's really, really focus on that breath. So I want you to get in the habit, we're going to do 10 times here, of breathing in as you lift, and then exhale down and push that back into the floor, okay? So that's 1. Stay with me now. Let's breathe in, lift our tailbone up, engage those legs, squeeze your butt, hold, and exhale back down. Good. Feel that vertebrae. Inhale, come back up. Driving through those heels. Exhale, back down. Feel your glutes, your hamstrings, even your quads might be working a little bit. Inhale, up. Keep that core tight. And come back down nice and slow. Should be feeling it in those hamstrings even more now. Keep that back flat on the ground. Inhale, lift those hips up. And exhale back down. Alright, we're gonna do 3 more. So really focus on this. I'm not gonna say anything. I want you to just really focus on your breath. Squeeze that glute and then go back. Exhale. Good. Last one. Inhale. And exhale down. Woo-wee. If you were doing it right, you should feel that in your hamstring. So go ahead and relieve those legs and bring your knees to your chest and just hold for a second. If you want to keep going with the bridges, you're more than welcome to do that while the rest of us kind of stretch out. But that's truly a core foundation right there. Now, with our legs coming back into this pose, and now what I want you to do is think about flexing these inside muscles of your legs. So you can do this by either grabbing some kind of ball or maybe just putting your hand in between your knees. And you should feel that tension. And what I want you to do is bring those knees out and then squeeze them in. You can put them against each other, or if you have some kind of object, a ball or a pillow or something, or a towel to put that put between your knees. I'm sorry I didn't tell you beforehand. But you want to squeeze those muscles. Exhale, bring the knees together, and inhale out. Exhale, think about that back pushing into the ground, squeezing in, so you're pushing inward like you're gonna pop a balloon, and inhale out, relax. Exhale, squeeze, feeling the inside, and inhale, relax. One more, squeeze together, and we're gonna relax again. Ooh-wee. side of the muscles. So come on back up to a seated position. Straighten up that back a little bit. Now, we're going to stay on our mats here, and we're going to start to engage these obliques a little bit more, okay? So we're going to go back to those exercises again once more, but this is the last one that I want to show you, and we'll do a little faster pace. But you have your fingertips are pointing out, okay, away from the body. You're going to hold this kind of like a side plank here. And so my hips are up and my body is nice and straight. As you hold, again, we're thinking about bringing these hips kind of forward so this core is hard. Like when I tap here, I know that my core is engaged because I'm breathing out and I'm kind of lifting those hips up, but keeping this length. Okay, so I still have a length in there. We're gonna hold, hold, hold. This is good for the shoulder too if you're feeling it there. And now bringing that other arm up. If you are ready for more, if this is enough of an exercise for you to stay here, but if you're ready to kind of engage that full oblique, we're gonna do these things that I call pull throughs. So that means you kind of swing your arm down through this hole between your arm and your leg, and then you come back up. Okay, so you inhale on the way up, and then you exhale when we go forward and through that hole, and back up. And keep going at your own pace. If you need to just hold, that's okay. Use your breath to engage this core. Breathe out when you come down. Breathe in when you come back up. Breathe out. And breathe in. Is this hurting anybody's knees? I can't see. If it is, you can come up here, grab a pillow, keep going if you're on the side, but you can grab your pillow and come up into a more straight stance and do the same thing, or just hold. I know, it's lovely, isn't it? You can also do this here too. So if it's too hard, hold yourself at a kneeling and you're going back up and down.
Oh my God.
Yeah. Okay, come on back up from the side. Stretch it out a little bit if you need it, and then we're gonna go over to the other side. Yeah, talk about the obliques. It'll get ya. So do what you can. Just think about that alignment though, because if you get to a point where you're like, I'm shaking, my arm's gonna fall off, or whatever is burning, stop, give yourself a break and bring that hip down. Okay, so we're gonna bring those hips. Let's hold this position at first, thinking about alignment here before we start twisting. That's the biggest thing with exercises is people think they're like, oh, I know the exercise, I'm just gonna do it, here we go. But there's so much wrong in that, because little did that person know who started going super fast that their hips weren't up, their core wasn't hard and engaged, which then in return can actually cause damage to your back. So breathe out instantly. Feel that core engaged. Bring that arm nice and high and either stay here or start to do that pull through and up. Now breathe out. And in as you come back up. Breathe out. And in. And I'm just realizing I went down my elbow this time, but you can either squeeze.
Yeah, you confused me.
I know, sorry. I'll back up to my straight arm. I need to work my shoulder anyways. It needs some stability too. Yeah. And actually I think it's harder. Yeah.
Your butt does not weigh as much as mine.
No. Nope. Yeah.
That's a lot of weight
That
on
would
your
be.
shoulder.
Yeah, and I have to say, this was never my favorite exercise at all at first. I hated this so much. I'm gonna do one more exhale, down, and in. And I'm just realizing I went down my elbow this time, but you can either squeeze. I know, it's sorry. I'll back up to my straight arm. I need to work my shoulder anyways. It needs some stability too. Yeah. And actually I think it's harder. Yeah. Yeah. and come back up. And let's go ahead and rest for a second. Ah, yeah. Yep. No, definitely was not one of my favorites. But it does its job. Let me tell you. Tomorrow, if you don't feel it, I don't know, you must not have been doing it wrong. We might need to schedule a fitness assessment. But it's good. It's a good exercise. So before we start that round again, I want you all to get back onto your back, and we're gonna do our famous thing we always do, these windshield wipers, because honestly, this is the best thing for stretching, and it's also still engaging that core. So you're still forcing that back to stay down when you're straight, and then engage those obliques when you lift back up. And just give yourself a nice massage. Rest those obliques a little bit before we start to pound again. Good. 2 more breaths. Back over. And come center. And let's start to rock ourselves back up. Whew. Good. Okay, here we go. Let's go back into our founders. So if you can stand back up. Yep. Let's fix the screen a little bit. And so focusing on that first piece. So we want to engage that core, create a very long space here. So hold yourself if you need to. Get into shoulder width apart. And we're pushing our butt back to go into that forward fold. Back is straight. Once you feel that stretch and you feel like your back is straight, not rounding, hold here. We're going to do about 12 pulses. So if you want to stay with me, start to pulse up and down, feeling that back get a little rigid. Okay, all part of the core. Back is probably the weakest point, honestly, for most people nowadays, because we tend not to use the back of us. Good. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. On an exhale, reach down to the ground and just round your back down. Stretching those back muscles out. If you need to kind of rock side to side, do what your body needs right now to stretch that out. Let's bring one leg forward, one leg back. We're going to get into that founder's position, a split stance now. So bring your hands onto your knees and then lift that chest up. Good. Yep. Now we're in that pose, we're holding it. And if you want to, you can actually do a pulse here. Same thing, it's working the same exact muscles, except you're adding a little leg strength too. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Reach down to your feet again. Let's bring that leg back in. We'll stay folded and bring the other leg back so we don't have to go all the way back up. Bring your legs, hands to your leg. Bring that chest up. So you feel that back get a little rigid. It's nice and straight, so I'll show you. Oop, I'm here. Back is somewhat straight, and now I'm going to start to just pulse. Breathe. And 4, 3, 2, and 1. Bring your hands down to the ground. Bring that leg next to the other, and let's round all the way back up, rounding our back. We're not worrying about that straight back. We're just trying to let it stretch a little bit. Okay, good. Next exercise is on the chair, that lovely bridge of ours. So go ahead and bring your legs up when you get down here. And remembering that, I kind of forgot to mention this before, but you want to make sure that when you're putting your legs on, I actually keep most of my weight into these heels. So I won't bring the bottoms of my toes on there. I'll bring the bottom of my heel right on the chair. That's where the pressure is. And you don't want to create a 90-degree angle. It's okay if your step is a little lower or higher. That to me doesn't quite matter as much as keeping that angle and making sure that your knees are staying within your hips. Okay, so you don't want your knees to come together, you also don't want them to fall out. Okay, so try to keep them in line with your hips. And then now let's get that breath. So breathe in through your nose and exhale. Check your tummy. Is it hard? Yes. So if it's not, tuck that tailbone in, breathe in through your nose, and exhale that out. Feel the back fall into the ground. And now we're gonna start raising our glutes up off the ground. The hips are going into the air. Inhale, lift. Feel the tightness in your hamstrings, and exhale, pushing that back down to the ground, and tailbone reaches the ground too. Inhale, lift up, and exhale, back down. Drive the weight through those heels so we get a little hamstring action. And inhale up, squeeze your butt on the top of this, and exhale back down, pushing the back into the ground. Inhale, lift. Keep your feet in line with your knees and your hips. Back is going back into the ground. Go ahead and lift that bottom up off the ground, squeeze your butt, and come on back down. Good, focus here. ABCs, alignment, breath and control. Squeeze those glutes. Come back down. We have one more here. Good. Breathe in, lift that butt up. Find that peak, squeeze your glutes, and slowly bring that back down. Breathe out all the way down. Woo, good. Bring your knees to your chest to relieve those hamstrings a little bit. If you need to kind of do a little straight leg, stretch it out. And you know what's coming next is our side plank. So, when you're ready, we're gonna get into that side plank position. Anybody having real big problems with this side plank? No. Okay. All right. Yeah. No, they hurt. They hurt, but it's good to practice. So, first step, checking our shoulder. Okay, so we need to take care of this shoulder, making sure that we're not too far out. So there shouldn't be an angle here. Your elbow or your hand, I should say, because you're supposed to be putting our hand on the ground, should be directly under our shoulder. And then when we lift up, whether it's on our knees or if it's on our feet, we're still staying in that alignment. So I'm not taxing my shoulder. It's strengthening because I have to hold it, but it's not being taxed. And I'm gonna go down my knees. Okay. So now when we're here, we raise the other arm up, engaging that core, bringing those hips forward. You should kind of squeeze your butt a little bit when you're in this position. Feel that? Good. Okay, and now let's start to twist. And come back up. Exhale on the way down. And inhale up. Exhale. Feeling that oblique on the inside, closest to the floor. Keeping that up. We are really focusing on that one muscle, which is a beautiful but yet very hard thing to do, so do your best. We got two more. Exhale, back down. Come back up. And exhale, back down. And come back up. Oh, okay, bring that butt down. Give yourself a break. Shake it off. Good work. And come on over to the other side. Get your positioning. So If you want to go down to your elbow, if it's really bothering your shoulder, I would recommend going down to the elbow, and that way you're not putting any too much pressure in those two joints that you have. Actually, you kind of eliminate the whole wrist and the elbow. So if that's you, go ahead. If not, get in that position, get your legs straight, knees on top of each other, and making sure that your hand is right underneath your shoulder, raising the other arm up straight into the sky. Here we go, engaging that hip, squeezing our butt so our core is nice and tight here, and exhale down, needling through, inhale way up, exhale down, and bring it on up with an inhale, breathe out.
Oh, that's enough.
You're burnt out, Barbara.
Yes.
This is more of the core foundation that you thought it was gonna be, didn't you?
Yes.
All right, let's do 3 more to make it even as the other side. Come on back up. Really try to keep those hips up. Breathe out.
Oh, God. I'm in the rotten shape.
Good. Up. One more time. Exhale. Down, twisting. And inhale back up. And bring those hips down to the ground. And let's do our favorite stretch again. But we're going to really kind of stay down low. So before we bring our knees to our chest, go ahead and bring your back down straight. And you're going to bring your arms up above your head. Create the biggest space you can in between your hips and your rib cage. Reaching those arms above your head. Breathe here, allowing the back to actually lift up off the ground this time. So we're really creating a big gap back there. Breathe. Let your body relax. And when you get that full stretch, now just try to relax those muscles. Bring your knees up and bring that tailbone down so you create no space now in that back. And now my hip bones are down, my back is flat against the floor, and I'm going to bring those knees back up to my chest. Arms are going to now go over my legs. I'm just going to hold it here with a small rock side to side just to give myself a massage. Good. And if you want to, you can either stay here and just let your body relax, or go ahead and put your hands out to the side. This is another core exercise, so really, if you want to keep on going with that strengthening, bring your knees up off your chest a little bit. And that way you can create space to really engage those obliques as you let them fall to the ground. Tap the ground, exhale, bring that back up to center. Inhale, rock it to the side. And exhale, use that strength to bring your tailbone back down. Good. Side to side. Go at your own pace. Again, I'm feeling like my vein in my neck is really kind of popping out because I'm constantly engaging that core to allow my core to control my legs. So a lot of times here, people will start to try to use their legs to lift back up. If you're not strong enough, you will have to use your legs a little bit, but think about that core really engaging, and that way you can strengthen it enough to do that on your own. Exhale, use that breath. We're gonna go one more time on each side. And exhale, back to center. One more time on the other side. And exhale, back up. Woo-wee. Good. Go ahead and give yourself a good squeeze. Let that back really sink into that floor. Rock it, rock it, rock it. And bring your hands underneath your legs, and we're going to start to rock to get ourselves back into a seated position. And come on, back up. Okay. Good work. So that was that was a bit more challenging. Barbara, did you survive? You're not-
Survived.
Okay, good. The last thing I want is any of you getting injured during any of this. So, was that too hard?
No, I just have a weak shoulders area.
Okay.
Speak. That's all.
Okay. Drew, how do you feel?
I probably didn't do it right because it didn't seem too hard. So I'm clear I didn't do it right.
Well, maybe you did though, because you might actually have a stronger core than you think. Mom, how'd you do? Yeah. How are your shoulders? Because I know you have issues.
Yeah. No, it was okay.
Okay. All right.
The
Good.
side plank was killing my shoulders.
Yeah. That is always a hard one. But that's good feedback. Because next class we're gonna do some more, but a little more integrated, so not working too much of shoulders, but really focusing on the full core. That way, Nidra, you can get more of probably back, just because I know that you've had issues with back before, so that's gonna be good. How are the bridges for all of you?
Hey, that was okay.
That was okay. No, did you feel a burn at all?
Yeah. I felt in my calves a lot.
Ah, okay. All right. Yeah, good info. We will go over more and get a little bit of a more, probably a more yoga feel in it, but a core yoga class. So that's good. That's great. Yay! I'm loving this class. I think it's gonna be fun. I think you guys are gonna see really great progression from it because it's these small exercises that make a huge difference. So keep working, keep trekking along. You guys are doing great. And we will, what's the next class? Move more tomorrow morning or tomorrow 12:30.
12:30.
12:30. Yeah. Yep.
Okay.
Alrighty. So have
Thank
a
you.
great night. You're welcome. I will see you all soon.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Facebook? Sorry.
Actually, we can actually stay on because I updated.
We did. Okay.
Have this going on still. Okay.